Today we are back with some developer comments about TLCs, combat fixes and cheaters of all things. So if you are a filthy Path of Titans cheater, your days are numbered. So let's talk about it. Now the first thing I'm going to talk about is the next update. Matt was back answering some of our questions again, and the hot topic was the next update, or more specifically, what the next TLC could be. He was first asked, when will the next TLC come? And, well, since it's already October, is there going to be any other changes to the game this month? Matt did say they just released the Sarcosuchus TLC, and so it'll probably be a little bit before the next one. But a user did respond saying it had been 3 weeks since we got the Sarco TLC, which is technically true, but Matt did respond by saying that it landed on the 26th for the Switch users, for example, and that the main patch for everyone else was on the 19th roughly, going on to say that it is currently the 3rd, so do not expect any updates anytime soon. Now obviously, do take this with a pinch of salt. We've known time and time again, especially in regards to TLCs, that Matt has said he doesn't exactly work on the TLCs. Of course, he'll know the status on the TLCs, but I don't know. He knows more than us anyways, but sometimes you got to take it with a pinch of salt. Now, this could be tied into the Nintendo issue that I spoke about in this video on the screen now. Since Nintendo is actively causing update delays, could it be that these delays are having knock-on effects for the next updates for the game? Now, as Matt did say that while the last patch was on the 19th, it is impossible to get an update out so soon after that. Matt did add that it's because of potential patch overlapping. You can't send another update out to be approved while one is currently in approval processes, from what I can understand here. Now I might be understanding that really wrong, but it could be heavily tied to the Nintendo stuff, as they could take a while to approve patches that might, be the cause of patch delays. But that also could be very wrong. It could just be the fact that some patches just take a while. It does make me wonder if the next update is not just a TLC and actually a major game update once again. Now, my reason for this, I'm going to go over this quickly, and it's purely speculation, but we did get numerous TLCs earlier in the year that were knocked out like within 2 weeks of each other, straight after one another, without need of a major update. It's likely that those TLCs were bundled into a prior update, namely, for example, Rex, Io, Suko, and Dino Kiris, and then drip-feeded to us. And the reason TLCs at the moment take longer is because maybe they're taking longer to develop and they don't have the backlog of TLCs, but also it could be that they're bundled into major updates. The Sarco update and the Spino update were bundled into relatively big updates with a lot of balance changes and overall update stuff, whereas previous TLCs probably didn't have that big update time, or just came after an update happened. So it makes me wonder that these are not being drip feeded from one big update, but are actually just tied to individual big updates themselves. But what are your thoughts on that speculatory piece? I'd love to know. Now, very quickly, there was a brief discussion about Thalassodromius' TLC. Now, this is because a user called Olive asked, can we expect Fowl to get a full remodel or for its TLC, or just a touch-up like the Iguanodon? Now, Matt said he doesn't know for this one. Now, this tracks with previous dev comments from Matt, because it appears that he doesn't work on the TLCs and that it's Jiggy who works on the TLCs, in terms of that being their main job at the moment. But if we do skirt back to previous comments from Jiggy, we can have some form of answer of what the Fowl TLC could be like. Now, these were from March earlier in this year, but also they said that they want to improve it a lot, including its flying animations and the wing model being a bit low poly when folded up. This is when they were asked on how TLC would work. Specifically, it hasn't been touched since the Stone Age. But they also said it will take a little while for it to happen, and they don't expect it anytime soon. So the best answer here is, judging by that comment, it's not going to be a full model rework, but more so a touch-up like the Iguanodon had, and then just a complete ability kit overhaul by the looks of it, because they have admitted that Fowl is in a sorry state. But do take it with a pinch of salt, because it has been 7 months since that comment was made, which is quite crazy when you think about it. 7 months. This year's flown by. But that was the Fowl comments, and I thought it was best to add in the comments from Jiggy to properly round that question up, because obviously Matt didn't know the answer, and Jiggy said something that could have been somewhat of an answer, but you take it with a pinch of salt because it's old, and Jiggy, said it's in the future, and it won't be coming anytime soon. Now, combat is a very important thing within Path of Titans, but there's a lot of issues with it. Of course, the state of combat, not everyone being happy with it, but that's just standard in any combat game. But it also is important to know that there are some serious bugs going on with networking issues, Bluetooth bytes, lag, and cheaters. However, before this, Matt did give some context, and it was to do with the population of the game, the servers, and much more. So let's have a look at that context really quickly. Now, on the 3rd of September, Matt said that there were 41 official servers, but that was the number at the time he was making the comment. I believe that could be a more general comment towards the population of the game. But he did say at 9 AM EST it goes much higher because it's not even peak times. Most people are at work or going to work. It's likely that the matchmaker takes longer to find populated servers because there are less people on the game spread out through a lot of servers, in which I would like to call the graveyard hours. He was then asked what the monthly average of active players are for the game, and he said it's over 1 million, with the perspective of 100 to 150,000 active users a day in terms of unique users. Now, I'm unsure what the metric is. Do they just load up the game, or do they have to log into a server? They did say it's individual daily players connecting, so it's likely connecting to the game servers, and I think that's done by just loading up the game and connecting to the services. Well, this ties into the issues the game faces with stability, as a user did ask after that any thoughts to implement a region lock on servers to help stability, and Matt said this: there's a long list of things we'll do to help improve quality in combat. Probably some ping and internet enforcement and region restrictions. It's the only way to make the playing experience really good. But most of the work needed is just in the networking code. He then added that there is something called favor the shooter, which is a common thing across most games, which is where the game either favors the person being attacked or the person doing the attacking. Now, I actually looked into this online, and it is something that is spread throughout lots of games. It's not alien to Path of Titans. Now, I found a thread discussing it in the Overwatch subreddit of all things, and this was from 9 years ago, comparing the game to Team Fortress 2 and saying how Overwatch needs a better netcode, because in Team Fortress 2, where if an arrow hits a user in that game, it works on both ends, but in TF2, you may die and you may not, it may not hit you, but in the kill cam, it does hit you, and, stuff like that. So it's a common thing across games, and that's something the devs are wanting to focus and fix on. Now, Matt also did explain the lag stuff like this. For lag to explain the problem, there is 3 different worlds running at the same time: the server, the person being attacked, and the person doing the attacking. All are projected forwards in different ways depending on time. The attacker, their ping, the server, the ping, and the person being attacked. And obviously the ping of the person being attacked as well. But how does this tie into cheaters? Well, Matt actually talked about this as well. So let's talk about the cheaters. Now, this topic was brought up as a result of the previous stuff, the context that I made there about lag and problems with the game and favor the shooter and stuff like that. How does it tie into cheaters? For example, well, when conversing about how to fix the lag issues, he said there is lag everywhere, and if there is any lag, it can cause problems. Now, ways to solve it is enforcing stricter ping limits, but also banning cheaters and fixing bugs in the game that causes desync. And he went on to say that someone they previously banned for cheating added them in the Discord server, asking how they even found him cheating. Now, I'm curious if that comment's still there, because that's absolutely hilarious. But he did say there is ways cheaters can mess with combat at the moment and cause Bluetooth bytes, which obviously exasperates the Bluetooth byte problem. Well, this was obviously an answer to someone asking about what software the cheaters were using, and Matt didn't say the software itself, but they said what they do. Matt added that they get detected and they get banned. It just depends on how fast they get banned. So it's kind of like a lag switch almost. Something that is quite popular as a hacking method in a lot of FPS games themselves, especially like Call of Duty. If you don't want to use walls and make it very obvious, some form of switch to make your ping atrocious. That being said, Matt also did add that people cheat by selling accounts with full growth. Essentially selling a service, and there's 2 ways to do it here. You either sell a full account, which has Dinosaurs Fully Grown unofficial servers, or you pay someone to go into your account and grow the dinosaurs for you, which is quite crazy because people can just steal your account. Or The other alternative is Matt finds that these accounts have been operated that way or sold or using these methods, and they all get banned anyway. So if you're really that lazy, why are you doing it anyways? I don't get it. I don't get why people buy accounts with full-grown dinosaurs. Anyways, finally adding that it only takes one person cheating and that person running into like 30 to 40 people on the same server to get a bunch of videos of people having the Bluetooth bite problem. I'd be curious, once all the cheaters are banned, how much the problem gets reduced. So it's looking like that problem actually is part of the Bluetooth bite problem. While Matt doesn't know how exactly it's, enthralled in it, like how much of the Bluetooth bite problem is through cheaters, he does know that it is one of the problems that's causing it. There may be networking issues as well that are causing it too, but the game has cheaters and there's cheating issues, and that's not alien. People have complained about this for a while. Cheaters may potentially be, some form of causing these Bluetooth bites, but do remember that this issue isn't just based on the cheaters. As Matt said, there is a lot more to it, and they are banning a lot of cheaters as well. So that's a good thing to know there, that they are getting banned, and they hopefully will have some issues to solve the Bluetooth bite system or the problems in the future. They did say, obviously, there is fixes for it coming, which is good to hear, because I think everybody hates this Bluetooth bite thing. Whether it's a hacker or just a networking issue, we'll never know how much the hackers are actually causing it. Anyways, that's that. That's the comments from today. It's a smaller one. The main reason is because I'm going to a wedding over the weekend, and so it messes with my schedule a lot in terms of videos. Now, I did see the positive comments from the gameplay video, which I recommend you check out. There should be another one in the works now. I don't know when it's going to come. I'm hoping end of the month. But yeah, there's something to be excited for there. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you are new, feel free to subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.